There is a place called the No Frills Supermarket in a small town in Iowa called Council Bluffs. Council Bluffs. What kind of a town is that? Sounds like a place where the municipality has collapsed, that's what. Anyway, No Frills Supermarket is a convenience store, and it's been in the news this week because in 2009 there was a store assistant whose name was Larry. Larry Murillo, who was an illegal immigrant from Honduras, but he one night just disappeared. Cops couldn't find him. After a while, they gave up.
Wow.
Well, unfortunately, his corpse has been discovered at the back of the cold storage area.
Sis!
Yeah, exactly. He must have gone for a smoke break or something and fell down the back, close to the refrigeration units.
Ouch.
And the noise of the blowers prevented anybody from hearing his screams, and well, they just couldn't find him. So 2009, the body is discovered, and I'm thinking the customers of the No Frills convenience store must be feeling quite, I'm not sure, queasy about this whole thing. The whole time there's been a rotting corpse at the back of the cold area. Well, I like the name, No Frills. They make no bones about it, no frills. Well, yes, there are some bones in the cold storage area, but there are no frills about this particular convenience store. Okay, plant-based meat alternatives are all the rage right now. You must have been encountering this in restaurants. Plant-based fake meat products. The most famous of all is a company called Beyond Meat, which makes hamburger patties which more or less taste like the original beef version. Of course, they're manufactured using 27 Frankenstein ingredients in order to make them look and taste more or less like the real thing.
No thanks.
Including lecithin, soy-based proteins, extracts from peas, coconut oil, and a whole string of secret herbs and spices. Well, the meat industry isn't taking this lying down, and restaurant chain in America, Arby's, A-R-B-Y-S, Arby's, struck back for the meat eaters of the world with this fantastic product. It is a meat-based vegetable alternative.
What?
Yes. I know the thing in the picture looks more or less like a carrot, but in fact it is manufactured from milled up turkey meat.
Yeah.
That in fact is a parsley twig that is poking out the top. Apparently it takes quite a lot of work to make it look like a carrot. And I'm very disappointed to tell you that they are thinking of calling it on the menu a marrot.
Beyond vegetables.
A marrot. Now, I don't think that's a particularly good name, no. A marrot. But on balance, you know what? I think I would rather eat the marrot than the Beyond Meat burger. Although I would probably take that parsley twig out the top and throw that away. Otherwise, looks quite good. So the annual Lunch with Warren Buffett event is not going very well in 2019. Let me explain to you how this works. 88-year-old world's best investor, Mr. Warren Buffett. Once a year, they auction broadly to the whole investment community globally the opportunity to have a 2 or 3 hour lunch with Mr. Buffett, with the proceeds going to charity. That's the good part about it. Remember, Mr. Buffett basically sits in his office in Omaha, Nebraska and reads the whole day. He follows his own instincts, but everybody follows him like he's some kind of global guru. This year, the auction led to a fellow called Justin Sun winning the prize. He paid $4.6 million for the right to have lunch with Mr. Buffett. In the past, all sorts of weirdos have won the prize. There was once a hedge fund manager who paid nearly $3.5 million because, I don't know, maybe he imagined that somehow he would be able to get in front of Mr. Buffett and convince him that, in fact, he should sell all of his Berkshire Hathaway shares and instead give all of the money over to, Mr. Hedge Fund to manage. Well, that didn't happen. But Justin Sun, let's talk about him, the guy who won this year. He is a Chinese entrepreneur who is involved with web streaming and cryptocurrencies. He is the owner, instigator, and founder of a cryptocurrency called Tron, T-R-O-N, which is, according to research, the 16th most fabulous cryptocurrency. I don't know, maybe he's trying to convince Warren Buffett that in fact cryptocurrencies are marvelous and wonderful, not worthless piece of digital shit, which everybody knows that is indeed the case. Embarrassingly, a couple of days before Mr. Sun was supposed to show up in America for the lunch, he has somehow, it seems, had his passport withdrawn. It's not entirely clear, but he may or may not be at risk of being arrested by the Chinese authorities on allegations of money laundering and illegal fundraising. Oops, that's awkward. Well, if I was the charity, which had been promised the $4.6 million, I would just check if the check has cleared. I don't know, maybe he's planning to pay you in cryptocurrency. Check the bank account as soon as possible and make sure you got your money in US dollars. Pharma companies pay people all the time to do nasty drug trials, but this one is especially bad. There is a company called Vanda Pharmaceuticals in America which is trying to develop a new motion sickness, that is anti-nausea medication.
Okay.
So they came up with a trial which basically works like this. They took 120 people who had identified themselves as being prone to motion sickness, and they put them all in a boat outside the Los Angeles harbor and set them all off to sail in rough weather. Now, I mean, that sounds horrendous on its own, but remember there is a significant number of the people on board who were given a placebo. So you can imagine how this turned out. Basically, there were people on their knees puking all over the place in this boat while it's thrashing around in the ocean. Oh, it sounds absolutely hideous. I mean, even if you weren't regularly a sufferer, the sight of everybody else on their knees busy upchucking must have been too much to bear. And while this is happening, they're being asked to fill out a questionnaire. So you've got to hold a clipboard and say on a scale of 0 to 10, how horrible do you feel? I don't know, it just sounds like cruelty to me. Damn pharma companies, this story makes me sick.
Makes me queasy.